even, and this is where I see a lot of people who are, again, often religious, really fire and brimstone about morals, for example, not realising that the threats that they are putting out there about morals,
about immorality,
which are quite dark threats, threatening, in fact, the death or the eternal damnation of a person, right, are actually destroying their own soul condition and destroying their relationship with God at the same time.
Yeah, so you're talking about using fear to try and
attempt to get someone to be
morality in others.
Yes.
That's actually very immoral, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using fear as an attempt to control someone's behaviour, or even an attempt to get them to do something good, is in itself bad.
Yes.
And from God's perspective, there will be a penalty associated with that upon the soul.
Yeah.
So many people who are engaged in moral thoughts and moral deeds and becoming a moral person have a large degree of self-righteousness that they then impose upon their brothers and sisters on the earth, which causes the degradation of their own soul, the person who's doing the imposition, and also upon the soul of anybody who listens to them, unfortunately. So, these kind of things, again, are not effective in helping a person really grow into a divine being.
And the distinction you're making there is a distinction between an ethical and moral state and a self-righteous state.
Yes.
And if we were really to analyse it, the self-righteousness is not ethical or moral.
Not at all.
No. But people can develop in some way in harmony with God's feelings about what's ethical and moral,
yes,
but maintain a self-reliant and self-righteous and very kind of even angry state about how everyone else should be behaving or whatever. Well,
I don't feel they can maintain that in the long run. In the long run, they give up all that. But often while they're on earth, this is what they do. They become ethical and moral themselves, but now they try to impose that upon others by making a whole set of rules which are driven by fears, which they've established through books or such as the Bible or the Quran or some other book. And then they use that as an evidence that God's going to punish this immoral behaviour and so forth. And while it is true that immoral behaviour does receive corrective consequences, the truth is what you do, so you do reap from God's perspective. While it is true, at the end of the day, that is still development towards the perfect natural man. That's not development towards a divine angel. And while
what is the corrective process of your morality and ethics, and the process you engage through that correction
is the development to the perfect natural man.
Yep.
Now, when you receive God's love and you act in harmony with it, the side effect is that you become more ethical and moral.
Right, okay, because I have a follow-up question about this.
Because you have to pass through the development of the perfect natural man in order to become the divine angel. And when I say pass through, what I mean is that every person who develops to the seventh sphere has at one point entered the sixth. Because the sixth sphere is a dimensional space below the seventh. And the sixth sphere is the perfect natural man. So every person who's receiving divine love eventually passes through the sixth sphere developed state, which means that they are now ethical and moral, and they certainly think good deeds. But it's the subsequent result of their reception of God's love, rather than being driven only by the moral and ethical requirement.